Trust yourself. Do not listen to anyone, listen to yourself.
He sent me that beat with the stems as well. I can actually hear my ups in there being sampled. Woo!
Just vibes. To those who are new here, I'm actually a manager for an indie local station. I recently career switched after 10 years of doing architecture. Sadly, I still have to earn some money to keep my passion alive for VibeSynthetic. So yep, it's hustle time. Well, a quick note for y'all inspiring producers, artists who are doing music. Being in this profession is not easy. Don't be afraid to express yourself when it comes to creativity. Like for me, I feel like this career switch is something that I won't regret. The environment you're in is very important. What we consume is very important. Whatever you do outside of your music is gonna be inspiring you. I really want you guys to grow as well with me together in this journey. Just keep going, man. Trust yourself. Do not listen to anyone, listen to yourself.
And I'm back in the studio today after work. It's been a long day. But first things first, before we get into making music, I'm just gonna give you a very brief update on what happened to my last track that I did in my previous 2 vlogs. Now, in case you missed those 2 episodes, I'm gonna leave the link in the description below. The track is sounding pretty good right now, so let's have a listen. So one of the main updates is actually the drums. If you look on the ambient drum right here, I have these 2 plugins. One is the TL reverb and also the A1 trigger gate. What I did was to have the echo delay and also the mix of the gating plugin, some sort like a build up for the track here. Creates that kind of suspense, you see. And also these 2 synths that I have here, I automate the macro knob so that it's more of like evolving kind of synth. You can see that the macro knob is actually controlling the filter effects formant and also the transpose. Yeah. Now the vocal samples, I played a lot with the wet and dry of the delays, and I automate the feedback and also the mix of the delays over here. As you can see, this part, the mix of the delay is a lot higher while this is none. Woo! You hear that bounce? Honestly, based on what I've just shown, you don't need to create more bounce with new samples or drums. You can actually automate them through your sound design process. Okay, so the agenda for today is going to be very interesting because I received an email from a producer. He's a beat maker, by the way. He goes by the name of Hermit Sonore on Instagram. I don't know if you can see it. Well, he basically DM'd me. He wanted to collab in some way. I sent him my welcome kit. Now, the Sonic Aesthetics welcome kit includes like vital presets and samples and loops. If you want to get that, by the way, it's in the link in the description below. It's free. All you got to do is just sign up for my mailing list and you get a bunch of vital presets and also the loop pack. But anyway, I sent that to him. He resampled those loops to create his own beat. Guess what? He sent me that beat with the stems as well. It's time to really mangle with the stems that he gave. First and foremost, let's listen to his beat that he sent me on email. I'm thinking of playing the track from my phone here. It's connected to my Bluetooth speakers. Crazy! I can actually hear my ups in there being sampled. You can hear it's very reverby, very ghostly. I like it. Talented dude, man. I'm just waiting for the beat drop. Let's go. Woo! Okay, so this is gonna be a challenge for me today to resample his stems. Let's get it. In 3, 2, 1.
So I proceeded to open up his files just to find the sound that I want to resample. Kinda like this choir sample. Drag it into machine as usual. Pitch it up, trying to find the right spots to cut and chop. And then I try to truncate it and put it to the right tempo. Started some recording sessions in Machine. So I kind of reduced the release so it's more chopped in terms of the sample. I had a very bass layer with just 2 notes. Dragged it into Logic Pro so that I can see the waveform clearly before processing. So I wanted to find the A1 trigger gate just to create a bit more bounce to this sample. Fell in love with this house custom bounce. I added a bit of EQ just to filter out the low ends. And then a Valhalla Supermassive just to give it a bit more organic reverb touch. Next, I want to find another sample where I can resample again. I really like this process because it's quite fun finding the sounds that you think it's of potential. Found this ghostly bell. Increased the pitch to the same pitch as the previous sample I did. Kind of like the reversed one, and I increased the volume of it. Then I added in the notes, just to get a base understanding of what's going on here. Drag it into Logic Pro again, just trying to see the waveform. Now I added this tremolo effect because I feel like automating the whole gating of this sample. It's gonna be quite interesting. And I begin drawing it based on the grid that I want. It takes a few tries before I even confirm the gating parts of this sample. I can change the tempo accordingly with the automations here and copy it over later on. I also wanted to automate the frequencies here. I started drawing where I want it to be. Kind of put it where the tremolo effect is coming in.
So as you can see, like sound design is not only creating synths using wavetable patches, you can actually resample things and add effects and automate them. I usually find this process a little bit longer, but I like it because it's very, very interesting. I think let's just get into the drums. I feel like putting in a bit of drums, just to get a bit of groove. So let's go.
I hit up Splice and find the kick samples. Honestly, there's nothing going on in my head right now. Just trying to find the right thing to play around with. Snares. So the kick and snares actually form the bass for me. I kind of used like a garage kind of pattern, and I just recorded it. I really have no idea where this is going, but I was just trying to go with the groove. And I started to add in the hats just to get more groove and more clue of what's going to happen next. And yep, I'm still using the garage kind of style of hats. Pitching it down and editing the MIDI pattern so that it's more tighter. Add a bit of swing. Now this part, things have changed. It's really sounding something else. I want to find an essence snare. Trying to put it into the main snare to double it up. I kind of like the bounce here. be honest, at this point, I really don't know what genre is this, but I'm just gonna go with the flow and see where this takes me, because first things first, I will probably need to dequantize the snare. And somehow my mind tells me I need a drum fill. Trying to find a cool loop that I can experiment with, put into machine. Kind of like that drum and bass kind of style, so I resample it in machine and I try to truncate and stretch it to the right tempo. Now put it into Logic Pro and make sure this is an ambient drum, because I don't want it to be so forefront to the main drums. Kind of chop it into half. Added some EQ. And some Valhalla Supermassive reverb, just to give a bit more texture. Yeah, I kinda like it. Now next I wanted to create a sub bass, so I booted up Vital next. Started off with a sine wave. Just trying to find the notes here, see wherever fits this main track. Start with a higher note so you can find the lower notes. Now this is so groovy, I had to record it next. I had to add a little bit of distortion, giving it a bit of crunch. And then I added another oscillator. Then I played with the wave morph on the second oscillator, just to give a little bit more character to the sound. Add a bit of filter here, give it a bit of movement to the whole bass. And then I edited the arrangement at the start so that I can get a good entry to the next bar. And after 2 hours, it sounds like this.
Well, we've come to the end of the video. That's all I have for you guys for this session. Now remember to like and subscribe and hit the post notification bell button, and I'll catch you on the next vlog. I'm VibeSynthetic. Peace.